Hi guys, and welcome back to another video. My name's Destiny. We do book things here, and today we're going to talk about my October wrap-up, and we're going to get a little comfy as I do it. So, I had just filmed a whole TikTok talking about these books in a very fast fashion. I gave you my rating, a few thoughts, and we moved on. I'm going to try to do a little longer winded here, and try to lengthen it out a little bit. I finished 10 books, and that's a low number for me. It really is, considering I finished like 15 a lot of the other months. But I did not feel the draw to pick up as many audiobooks as I have in the previous months. And I no longer have Scribd, so I'm waiting for my library. That's a whole process in itself. So, yeah. 10's not a bad number, though, considering I physically read a lot of these. And I'm proud of that. Okay, Fred's on Ollie's desk, if you can hear that. I don't know if you can or not, but he's on her desk and I can hear the papers moving around. So, welcome to another video. I'm going to try to catch my breath, take a sip of my coffee, and we'll talk. Today I am drinking cold coffee with a French toast, Skinny Girl syrup, and almond milk. So far, I don't like almond milk in my homemade coffee. I get it at Starbucks, but I think they put a lot more almond milk than I want to because I want to make this last. It's not bad. It doesn't give me the creaminess I'm looking for, so I'm going back to half and half. But that's what I have in my cup today. Hopefully you have a cup of something because this is going to be a longer video, just because I feel like talking. So there's that. Yeah, not bad, but it's just missing something. And I think if the French toast wasn't such a strong flavor in this syrup, I wouldn't like it at all, and I'd probably report it down the sink. But let's talk about what your girl finished. So, the first book I finished was King of Battle and Blood by Scarlett St. Clair. I talked about this in... Was it my wrap-up? What was it? My vlog? And I told you I picked it up because I was looking for something to fill the void because I'm waiting for the next touch of whatever to come out. Because the last touch of, I can't think what it is, at the top of my head, left me with a book hangover and desperate for the fourth one. And the fourth is going to be the finale. So yeah, desperately want that. Anyways, so, which on the second thought, I may go back in and pick up the Hades side of things. I may go do that because I have a craving for it, and that'd be cool for me to listen to. But anyways, King of Battle and Blood. I recommend this if you like her writing, if you like smutty romances, and you like darker romances. I wouldn't say it's as dark as like Haunting Island or I read Devil's Playground, and I wouldn't say it's that dark. But it is a forced marriage and kind of an awakening on her part. You're following a vampire king who is just going across the country murdering everyone who doesn't agree with him to hold power. It is said that the witches created the vampires and that basically they want him dead, but they can't get close enough. And she is the daughter of a lord of one of the territories who agrees to like meet with the king to try to meet his terms so that he didn't murder all of his citizens. And when he runs, she's out. She's not supposed to leave the castle without a guard. She does it anyways because she's like, fuck y'all, I'm a strong ass woman, I can do what the fuck I want, go fuck yourself, basically. And when she leaves, she runs into the king and she's like, fuck, I wasn't supposed to be here. She is attacked by an undead creature and is basically about to be unalived when the king comes up and saves her. And she just thinks he's a vampire. She doesn't know that he's really the king until much later in the throne room when they're meeting with them, and she's like, oh, fuck. You're the guy who saved me. You're also the king. And he says his only terms to not bring his army of vampires in and murder everyone is to get her hand in marriage. And she agrees to save her lands, of course. And it kind of takes off from there. I gave it 4 stars. Hold on. Y'all know I can't remember anything. I need my journal. 4 stars. It was good. I definitely want the second one. The ending left me curious. She built a pretty good plot and wove in a lot of politics and like what the heck's going on here and a little bit of a mystery. It was really good. I gave it 4 stars. I think that it could have gone farther, but that might be because I've read a lot of dark romance recently, and so I'm just like, you could have gone darker. But I enjoyed it. Next, I finished Such Fun Age by Kelly Reid. This one I gave 5 stars, and I loved it. Don't be wrong. I just don't know how I feel about it. This one is about a nanny who is called by her employer one night, late one night, and she has been out with her friends partying for their birthday. And she's in her early 20s, so she is not dressed to be going to her job. And her boss is like, hey, something has happened here at the house. I desperately need you to come get this child for me and just take her to the grocery store for like an hour or two, please. Get her out of the house while I figure some things out. And she's like, are you sure? I'm not dressed correctly. I'm out with my friends. I was out partying. I have no problem coming, but I'm not dressed for this. She's like, it's fine. I don't care. I will pay you double your normal hourly rate if you'll just come. And the nanny's like, I do need the money. I really need the money. Your girl broke. So she's like, okay, fine, I'll come. And it is a black woman with a white child. And her and her friend have this child at the grocery store. They're looking at the beans. I mean, the kid loves the grocery store. She's being good. They're not being rowdy or anything. Her friend starts playing music. The little girl starts dancing with her friend. And she's like, come on, dance with us. And so she does, as children do. Like, they're not shy. They are not embarrassed. They don't know what embarrassment is. And a older white lady gets the attention of security and basically says that she doesn't think this white child should be out this late with this woman, that, something's not right here, basically. By the time security gets back over to them, her friend has left, and it's just her and the child's 3. And so she's a little like, what the fuck's going on? And is clinging to her caretaker because this is the woman she spends all of her time with. Like, while mom is out doing what she does, she spends time with her. That is, her safety place. And so they're trying to talk to this child, get this child who is 3 to tell them what's going on. And so she ends up having to call the dad. The dad has to come down, and that's kind of what the story is about. I think it was really good. The ending's really fucked, in my opinion. Not in the author fucked up kind of way, but the situation as a whole is just fucked. And I had questions. And being the mother of a child who does not look like she would be mine, I have so many questions, and it brought a new worry that I wasn't even aware of. Y'all have, like, in vlogs and stuff, I'll pass it so you don't see her face, but you see the back of her head and stuff. Ollie is not fair. My nephew, now he is fair, but Ollie does not look like she would be mine. I've had people ask how she got her tan, and how much do I charge for babysitting services before, when I'm out with my own child. I'm out with my own child. I had a woman walk up. She had 2 about Ollie's age with her, and she asked me, how much do you charge for weekdays? We're looking for a babysitter, blah, blah, blah. I said, excuse me. She's like, obviously you're a great nanny. I can see that between the 2 of you. I would love to get her mom's, recommendation. I would love, and I was just like, thank you, but she's mine. And she did not believe me. So this book brought up a new worry that I didn't really process before. And even though she looks just like me, like, dude, I could put a baby picture of me, a baby picture of her. She looks just like me. She is my mini me. I still have this worry now that I didn't realize I had. Next, I finished A Court of Mist and Fury. I'm going to link the video. I gave it 5 stars. I talk about my thoughts there. I won't go too long-winded here. But I would like to send Miss Mass my therapy bill for this book, because it was a bit of therapy for me personally. Next, I finished The Help by Catherine Socket. I gave it 5 stars. I find that The Help, the novel, left Aibileen in such a better place than The Help, the movie, in my personal opinion. I think that in the movie, we're kind of left wondering what happens to Aibileen after all of this, because she is fired from Elizabeth's home and she can no longer get a job because Hilly is going to talk crap about her through the rest of the town. She's going to say she's a thief. She has no prospects. Yes, Skeeter is giving her part of the proceeds from the book, but those proceeds are going to dry up eventually. And Aibileen's just kind of left going, what now? Kind of thing. The book does not do that. I'm not going to spoil it and say what happens in the book, because it is a marginally different than the movie. But Aibileen is not left with a what if. You're not left wondering what's going to happen to Aibileen. You don't. I closed the book feeling secure, and I was not worried for her. And that's what my worry was when I went into the book, that I was going to have this feeling of sadness at the end of it, because I'm going to worry about her and whether she's going to find another job. How is she going to survive? Minnie found a good deal where she did, because no one, that lady had never talked to Hilly, did not believe what came out of Hilly's mouth. Like, she understood, and her and Minnie had a friendship, and she wanted that friendship with Minnie. But Aileen's not going to be able to find something like that. I also love the book for Minnie's story as well. You switch perspectives, and you get a perspective from all three. So you get to see it from Skeeter's, from Aibileen, and from Minnie. And I love that so much. Hearing Minnie's own thoughts and what's going on, all of that. Also, there is an added element into Minnie's story that is heartbreaking. Trigger warnings for this, I would definitely say, is abuse, physical, domestic abuse, and just racism altogether, obviously, but definitely domestic abuse. I don't think the movie, it's been a while since I've seen it, but I don't think the movie goes into that as much as the book does. So, just forewarning. Next, I finished The Breakdown by B.A. Paris. I gave it 4 stars, but I said in the TikTok I did that I may end up lowering my rating, and your girl's thinking she's going to go do it. I think I'm going to give it 3 stars, actually, now that I've had some space from it. Because after thinking about it, I predicted this from the very beginning. Like, I knew it was going to happen from the very beginning. And not that that is so much a bad thing, but predictability is not something I enjoy in my thrillers. And so I just, no. I think I'm going to give it 3 stars. If you're looking for a psychological thriller where you're not really sure what's going on, you have a bit of an unreliable narrator, I recommend this one. If you're new to the thriller genre and looking for that, I definitely recommend this one. It would be a good one. This follows a woman who is coming home one night. Her husband calls her as she's getting ready to leave out and says, "Hey, it's going to storm. Don't take the back way you usually take, because I'm worried about your safety. Go ahead and come the long way. I'm going to go into the spare bedroom to sleep because I have a migraine. I don't want you waking me up when you come in. I'll see you in the morning. good night, basically. She says, okay, not a problem. Well, she goes ahead and takes that shortcut he asked her not to. And as she's going down the road, she sees a woman stranded in her car. So she pulls over in front of her and waits. The woman doesn't flash her lights, she doesn't get out or anything. So she waits a couple minutes, like, okay, well, clearly you didn't need help. I'm not getting out because I'm worried about my own safety. But if you really are desperate for help, you would have already come up to my window. So she pauses for a couple more minutes and then just leaves. Later, the next morning, she wakes up. She finds out that there was a woman found dead on the road. So the woman she stopped, ended up dead. And she starts blaming herself and is really, really upset. And then she finds out that it's also a friend of hers who ended up dead. There was a new friend she had just made when she went with her best friend to her work event. It was one of her coworkers. She happened to hit it off with. They went and had coffee and just became really good friends. And the novel is about her being paranoid that the murderer of that woman is coming to get her. And from the beginning, I knew. I just kept going, something's not right there. Something's not right there. Baby, no. Thank you. Thank you. Something's not right there. Something's not right there. But yeah. So if you're new to the genre, I recommend this one. If my description of it is interesting, pick it up. It was not bad. Even though I knew where we were going, I still enjoyed the ride. Next, I finished Divine Rivals and I gave it 4.75 stars. I did not hate it. Did not hate it. I just was not obsessed like everyone else was. And I think the magic is interesting and I want to know more about the gods. So I will be reading the second one because I need to know more. This one follows two rival new journalists, basically, who are in the middle of a god's war. One of them, their brother, is out fighting, and she gets a job after she is dropped out of school at a newspaper, and he is her rival. They're competing for scripts and everything, and that's all I can really tell you without spoiling it. I feel like any more would be a spoiler. It is a romance. It's that fantasy romance kind of thing. I didn't hate it. Don't wrong, I didn't hate it. I enjoyed myself. I just was not obsessed, and a reread is not in my future. I will read the second one and probably a third one if she writes it, but I just wasn't just like a wondrous thing. Next, I finished Shatter Me. I gave it 2 stars. I don't know how y'all got through this book. Like, yeah, I understand that this is like almost classic YA where all of our main protagonists, all our main girls were very much um morally upstanding, did not want to do anything morally gray. This one, I just wish she was morally gray from the very beginning. Like, murder all their motherfucking asses and let's get on with it. Because what? No. No. And I've heard the books get better when she ends up with one of the characters. No, I am not down for the whole. It gets better. You just have to make it through the first book. Nope. If that's the case, then give me the long-winded version of the first book. Give me a synopsis and let me read the second one, because I will not be continuing with Shatter Me. Because unless one of you comment and give me a really, really good reason to do so, I'm not going to. I'm not. And I want to go back and reread like Divergent and The Hunger Games and all of that. But now I'm scared to. Apologize. Somebody pulled in my driveway, but they were turning around. But now I'm scared to because of how I feel about this one. So yeah, that may not be my future. Next, I finished Dust by Hugh Howey. I have been trying to finish the series for years at this point. This is the third and final in the Wolf series. This series follows Jules. And in the first book, I didn't read the back of the book. My best friend did and said, "Oh yeah, we're gonna read this." I agreed and said, "Okay, whatever you say, dude. That's fine by me." We try to buddy read when we can. And in the first one, you meet a sheriff and you're in his POV as he takes himself out for a cleaning. He says, "I'm done with life. I'm going for a cleaning," and becomes unalive. And so you're like, the heck? And the next thing you know, you're in Jules' point of view, and she's gonna be the new sheriff. And you're just like, the just happened here? Um, and you learn that they live in a silo underground. The silo is 150 odd levels, stories basically under the ground. And they have three different sections: the highs, the mids, and the lows. And it takes days to go up all the stairs. There's no elevator or anything like that. It's always been that way. They are told from a very, very young age that the outside air is deadly and that you cannot live on the outside. And that's where your story starts off. Like I said, this is the third one. If you're okay with a little bit of a rambly story and a title that makes no sense, I still don't know why he called it Wool and why the series is the Wool series, considering there are no sheep in this novel. It's a really good one. Even the last two, I don't think the the title really makes sense to me. I'm glad that he chose the title, but I don't think it makes sense. But this one, you're I don't want to spoil anything. I felt like I still have questions. Like that's where that 0.25 of a star went to. I got questions. And when you would like to answer them, let me know because I got questions. And I think he could have drawn this out into a longer series, like a Cassandra Clare 7-8 book series if he wanted to, because I still have questions. Shifted left me with questions that Dust did not answer, and I need more answers. Yeah, I got questions. But next, I finished Holly by Stephen King. I am planning on giving y'all guys a full review. If you've never heard of this book follows Holly Gibney, who was a character in the Mr. Mercedes series. She was supposed to be just like a side character one-off, and Stephen says in the back of the book that he fell in love with her. She took off on her own, and she takes a big role in If It Bleeds, which I have not read, and The Outsider, which I have. And so Miss Gibney is a private investigator who is called to investigate the disappearance of Bonnie, and her mother is the one who asked her to investigate. You also get a point of view from these little old people. They are in their 70s who are kidnapping people and unaliving them. So Holly goes up against these little old people. I love this more than I thought. I have learned with Stephen, I don't feel good when I'm reading it. I'm a bit bored while I'm reading it. But come the end, your girl just wants to start over again. And I want to piece together what I missed. Because I missed something and I know I did. I close that book and immediately want to start reading again and love it. And I just want to go back to live in it. And I think that's just me and Stephen King. I've also noticed I used to complain about his writing and how he breaks apart his chapters and like numbers them inside the chapter and how that annoyed me until I got to like more critically. We're going to use the word critically because I cannot say that other word. It's in my head, but it's not coming out my mouth today. Reading my books, And while reading A Court of Rings and Ruin, I realized Miss Mask does it, just doesn't number them. She just puts a fancy little symbol and moves on. And then reading Miss Bray. Miss Bray does it. Same way. Like, every book does it. I was complaining about something that's in every novel. I just didn't notice it because it's not numbered. Yeah. Yeah. That was happening. So I'm sorry about making that complaint, Mr. King. I take my complaint back. And I will be picking up more of your books physically because of that realization in my brain. I know I could probably get through your books pretty quickly. But yeah, I loved Holly. And if you want to write another Holly Gibney mystery, I'd be down for it. The only thing I think I would change about Holly is I wish we learned the details with her instead of getting that irony of we know what's going on here. We know that these are connected, but she does not. I did not like that feeling. I find Holly's mental process and her putting the puzzle pieces together and figuring it all out super interesting. So I would have loved to learn it as she learned. Like, not know who it was, not know what's going on here, and just experiencing it solely through Holly's eyes and just watching her puzzle it together would have been interesting to me. That might also be because I find people's thought process very, very interesting, and I love to people watch because they do shit that you don't expect them to do when they don't think anybody's watching. So that might be some of that, but I would love a book like that. So if you want to write a book just from Holly's point of view and her thought process, I'm down. Next, and the last one I finished this month was Haunting on the Hill by Elizabeth Hand. I ended up giving this 3 stars. I recommend it if you're looking for a creepy read and you're okay being frustrated by the end of it. I watched Plant Place Pride's video, which I'll link below, and how she talked about how she did not like this book at all. But not for the same reasons I didn't like it. One of the characters ends up no longer being a character, and I don't know if we were supposed to be sad about that, but me and her both had the same reaction. We rejoiced when we realized what was happening. This just, my problem with it was you get hints about the past of the house. So there are a lot of talk of what happened in the what is it? It alludes to Shirley Jackson's Haunting of Hill House and what happened at the end of that book. And then it hints at events that happened in the 80s with a family in the home. That's not even like a spoiler. It hints at that. And then you have today's events. None of our characters are curious enough to figure out what the hell has happened in this fucking house. None of them are investigating what's happening in this house. Like, they are so self-absorbed asses that you are frustrated by the end of this book because you learn nothing. Literally, I learned nothing. It was a complete vibe read. And you need to know that going in. Please know that going in. That is a complete vibe read. This is not one of those where you're going to feel like it was tied in a beautiful bow, because it wasn't. And oh, my head is pounding just talking about it because I'm frustrated. I thought, okay, somebody finally gotten licensed to go back to Hill House. And surely they're going to give us more context. Surely they're going to give us what's going on here. Why is it happening? What's happened in the years past since we were last at Hill House? Are they going to find creepy little details? Are they going to find little hints? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. There are a few. I do give Miss Hand, there are a few, but not enough. And to me, this book had no plot either. And I'm mad. I'm mad. And it could be my own projection onto this novel of what I wanted it to be. what I expected it to be. But if I go into a haunted house book, first I want the house to actually be haunted, the house to be haunted. I'm looking at you, how to sell a haunted house. And I want to know, why is the house haunted? What the hell happened to make this house the way it is? Because I think that is interesting. My favorite TV shows to watch, as far as like ghosts and stuff, are where they go to haunted places and explain to you why they think it is haunted and who they think is haunting it. Those are interesting to me because it's a history level and a little bit of comedy when they freak out. That to me is funny. That to me is entertaining, and I enjoy that. I want to know the history behind this. I want to know why. Make me care. This one did not make me care, not about the characters, not about the house, not about any of it. I cared about nothing. Nothing. And I closed that book and was like, okay, that was a damn good ride. And I even recommend it. If you want a ride and you're just looking for a vibey book and you're down for a ride and you're not looking to get anything out of it, learn anything, this is for you. If you have never read Haunting of Hill House by Miss Shirley Jackson and are thinking, I can't go into this one because I've never read that, that's a lie. You can. You don't need to read Haunting of Hill House to read this one. But it does spoil Haunting of Hill House, what happens at the end of that one. So if you don't want to be spoiled, then don't go into this one. But if you are, I don't do classics. They're not my cup of tea. I have tried. I just don't think I'm a classic girly. And that's okay with me. So if you're like, I don't think Shirley Jackson's writing is going to be for me. I don't think Haunting of Hill House is going to be for me. But I do want a haunted house book that is very vibey and is very vibey and just feels. No real plot. Then definitely I recommend this one to you. But I am still angry about it. I don't know how long I've been talking about this, but I am still angry about it. And there you have it. Those are the 10 books I finished in October. I enjoyed this. I hope y'all enjoy this. My videos, I've been trying to make them short and punchy, and I don't like it. I have watched a couple back myself, and I just don't like how short and punchy they have been. I also don't like doing voiceovers. That's the other thing I've learned recently, because I have a video sitting here that needs to be edited. All it needs is a voiceover. Girl does not want to do it because I don't like voiceovers. But yeah, that is where I'm at right now. Hopefully November goes better. So far November is going better. Because I have read it's the 5th of November and I have read three novels already in November. And most of them were really good. So yeah, that's where I'm at. If you want to know about my November reads, you'll have to catch up there. You also just got, I'm not sure what order these are going up in. I just filmed my November TBR. I'm excited for that. But yeah, I will catch y'all on my next one. Hopefully you enjoyed this as much as I did about just sitting down and talking. And I'll catch you on my next one. Bye, guys.